Greetings, one and all, and welcome to this new episode of Suits and Sports. My name is Ryan James, and as the managing editor, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest. He is one of the coolest persons we have seen on the Indian football platform, one of the chillest coaches, one of the best out there, Mr. Ivan Vukomanović, or should I say Ivan Etten? Welcome, sir.
Hello, thank you very much for the introduction.
Well, sir, I think it's an honor, first of all, to have you on our platform.
My
And
pleasure.
my first question to you is actually something that's going on a lot of us football fans' minds. Like, what is Mr. Ivan up to these days? What are you up to?
Well, I'm at home in Belgium for the moment,
Uh-huh.
traveling a lot in the previous period due to private circumstances. Being with the family,
Mhm.
helping my family a lot about many things, and then also kind of updating myself in a way of education. And for the moment, I'm in Belgium. Tomorrow I have a nice meeting in the federation. It's kind of a football seminar of football coaches where I don't know how it goes in India, but in Belgium and in this part of the world, uh, the moment you achieve and obtain your coaching license, whether it is of a lower level or the highest possible level, in order to continue working, you must update it. You must follow the seminars, and it's on a period of 3 years, where actually you have to gather certain amount of points in order to get your license extended, in order to continue working. So actually, these days I'm using this period for attending these seminars, meeting with other coaches, other people from federation. It's always pleasure when you are in those meetings. You can always meet new people, hear new nice things, especially about football, how it evaluates,
Mhm.
how it evolves, uh,
Okay.
first of all, and then you enjoy it. So for the moment, I'm home in Belgium. There are still many trips. This is also the period where interested clubs are inviting coaches for interviews and meetings, because the seasons here in Europe will end up really soon. And
Mhm.
then this kind of summer break is not that long.
Mhm.
And very quickly, I'd say half of June, second half of June, many competitions and clubs start already the preseason for the next season. So it will happen quickly if something happens. So in this part of the Europe, it's like that. So I am at home a little bit, enjoying my free time with family, friends, and of course, educating myself additionally.
Wow. I mean, it's truly inspiring to hear you tell, how you're prioritizing upskilling yourself and ensuring that you stay within. Coach, so I want to ask you one question. So you did mention about how, you're attending seminars. So from a coach's perspective, how important it is to, be engaged in such seminars. It's how important is the theoretical aspect of football for you?
Well, football is certainly a great professional sport and the brand that's recognized worldwide. Like many things in our lives, present in our lives, speaking about technology, speaking about many other things, football as well evolves a lot and really quickly. So, if as a coach you do not get that new knowledge, if you do not update your let's say, software in your head, if you do not follow the new tendencies and the new ideas of a football game, very
Mhm.
quickly you can be left behind.
Okay.
So, if you as a coach have that motivation and idea to follow that, to be present all the time, to understand the game better, and
Mhm.
to contribute many things that you can possess to this game, which is very nice. So it is very important for all the coaches to attend those gatherings, those meetings. Like I said, in Europe, it is kind of obligated. You have to do it in a period of 3 years in order to collect those points, because you want your license always to be extended for additional 3 years. This is how it works. Because it doesn't matter in a coaching job that once you get your license that you are set for life. No. So your license is valid for 3 years. in those 3 years, you must attend those seminars, you must attend those gatherings and meetings, updating yourself, I say always, educate yourself. And then when you collect those points, because you can always hear nice things, you get that knowledge, you can contribute yourself further on to the evolution of this game, and then you have a nice time. So of course, at the end, you get your license extended, and it can provide you the new job, the contract, or staying in the business. So that's very important. And I like those things, everything around education, especially passing that knowledge to younger people from experienced coaches. You always want to meet and hear some experienced coaches, how they deal with certain situations. And it's kind of thing that kind of education will never stop. It's a kind of process that will go forever, I think. So I like it. I like being part of that. I'm enjoying doing this.
Well, of course, we love your coaching style. We've seen you off the pitch. We've seen what you've produced. So I want to ask you, Coach, when did it strike you that, you have to become a coach? Like, I'm sure you played a good ton of football. There was a moment when you hit that realization point. You're like, that's it. I have to start coaching, and like very good
Okay.
at.
You must know one certain thing. So the moment you turn 30 in a professional playing football career, the moment you turn 30, you are considered as the old player. And you consider yourself, and you understand quickly, especially when you turn later 32, that you are very close to the end of your career rather than the beginning of your career. So you are considered as an experienced player, one of the oldest in the dressing room, probably the captain. And as a leader, you understand the game differently than younger players. So you have experience, you have hundreds of games in faith, how we say. And that experience kind of shapes the picture of football game that you have in your head. Many players, they say, you know what, I will stay in the football, but maybe in a marketing or management business or whatever it is. What happened in my case is, I remember being, I think, 33 years old. I was playing in Belgium. I was living in Belgium for several years in my club, being the captain. And I had a coach for several years in the club who actually advised me. One day we were in the gym, I think, practicing, and he was telling me, have you ever thought about writing you in a coaching education? I was like, no, not for the moment. Why? And he said, because I see how the other players, they look at you in a dressing room and how they follow your advices or how they follow you as a captain. So I think that you can do it. You can be a good coach. And I was like, yeah, okay, right. I was still in my head, there is still a big power in me that I can play for several years, because in a professional playing career, you kind of very difficult with difficulties, you accept the fact that it's done. And it's weird in a professional playing football career, because I had the luck for around 18 years. I was playing professionally. So for 18 years, somebody is telling you every day, wake up, go for breakfast, go for training, come back, have a lunch, go and sleep, have a training. So it's kind of, your life is programmed.
Right.
One day you wake up and everything's gone. So then you are 35, 36 maybe, if you're lucky. Then you wake up. Many players, they're in a situation like, okay, there is a family, there is a wife, there are kids. If you manage to earn a good money, you're sitting at home and thinking, okay, what should I do now? For example, if you speak about, let's say, normal educational process, whether is it speaking about doctors or any other occupation, you go for a high school, college, university, you go for a degree, and you start your career somewhere 25, 24, 20, I don't know, Then you go through all your life towards the retirement for 20, 30, 40 years of career, building up. And, that's kind of life you have. In a professional sport, in the moment when you start playing professionally, if you're lucky, when you are 17, 18, 19, you get a contract. And then you do something that is programmed for you for a certain amount of years. Like I say, one day, boom, it stops. So then many players, they are sitting and saying, you know what, I don't have a degree, I don't have diploma. In my case, I understood it very early that maybe I have a luck to play football, but injury or something can stop you. So I was like, okay, let's go for a degree. You go for a diploma that at least you have kind of degree that you can use it the day you stop playing, And then at the end of the career, when that coach advised me, go and write you in for a coaching education, that was kind of idea where I was like, should I do that? Can I be good in this? And so actually that last part of my playing professional career, I was using of talking a lot to the coach. And actually I remember for, I think, 2 years, he was never telling me what I am supposed to do on the pitch as a player. You are kind of experienced, you know it. And he was kind of guiding me in. So many times he was calling me and explaining me about the meetings and everything. So then you get in touch more with tactical side, with everything, organizational side, how you need to lead the club, lead the team, lead everything, not only technically or tactically. There are so many things around one football club that you have to deal with media, fans, environment. So many things that actually later on you get the insight when you are in a coaching education program. And that was the first time where actually I got advice from my coach, who was actually twice the national team coach of Belgium, and he was coaching many Belgian football clubs, not only in Belgium, but worldwide. He was well known. He's now in retirement. So actually he advised me to do that. And I remember coming back from China, where I was playing for 1 season, coming back to Belgium, starting the preseason. He was telling me, you know what, let's go and write you in and you start in September. It was kind of July.
Okay.
And then I decided that summer, I was 35 and I still had the contract. I still had the power in my legs, probably to play for additional 2 years, but I decided to stop. I decided to stop playing, and it was kind of, saying, okay, I give up the contracts, professional. I want to stop. And it was weird. It was really difficult and weird because as a professional football player, you always want to give best out of you.
Right.
And then I started as a coach. So that was kind of the first period where actually I was thinking, okay, maybe I should do that. And I'll go and try. And then the first comments and the first experiences were very good. And so I said, okay, let's invest yourself in it, go for the highest possible education and licenses, and let's go for it. And then I was realizing more and more that I'm enjoying that job. I'm enjoying the work, passing the knowledge to younger players, trying to explain them, to navigate them through their careers. And actually now it's been 10 years and more, like 11 years that I'm working as a coach and enjoying myself, really.
Right. Wow. I mean, that's a wonderful journey. And I think your record as a coach itself speaks for how good a coach you are. And well, one point I picked up on, coach, and I think we can now transition to your time in India, is you did mention you like passing the knowledge down to the younger players. And I'm sure your time at Kerala Blasters, you got to pass the same type of knowledge to the younger players. So what are your thoughts on the grassroots, the younger players that there are in India, the Indian local talent?
Well, the talent is present all around the world. So that's for sure. So the day when the kids, they go out and they start hitting ball against the wall at home with the friends in a schoolyard, or there is a talent. All of us, we started like that. All the biggest stars in the world, speaking about two like Messi, Ronaldo, we all started like that. So my choice to arrive in India, I remember it was still the COVID period, and I remember having that offers from Saudi Arabia, Emirates, and then India came along. And I remember sitting with my brother at home, and even India was the less financially comparing to others, but I felt something that I want to be there, because when I researched everything what was going around, like I say, from the knowledge passing side, I wanted to be present in India, seeing the huge talent, let's say huge amount of talent, without proper direction. So me as an educator, because the coaches, we are educators as well, because you are passing a knowledge. You want to explain the kids or younger players how and why they should do certain things on the pitch and off the pitch as well, in a professional and private life. So actually, seeing the lack of many important things in India, I told myself, I want to be there because I like challenges. On the other hand, it was the biggest jump into the unknown water for myself in my life. I remember landing for the first time in India and asking myself, okay, what should I see now? And then when you see all the difficulties and all the, let's say, lack of infrastructure, lack of knowledge, lack of youth educational grassroots period, I remember, you are facing the issues of having senior players on a senior level who don't have a clue how they have to play football. So actually, it's kind of, they are on senior level because they grow up, of course, but they lack the youth period, which is the most important. I'm telling you, in the professional sport, whether is it football, basketball, whatever it is, we are speaking here about football. The most important part of your professional football life is between 14 and 19 years old. If you are not educated in that period, the correct way, which we speak about youth development, the moment you become senior, you turn 19, 20, 21, you're lost. Because you missed kind of the most important part of your education. I'll give you an example. If you want to become a doctor, after your school period, you have to go, I don't know how it goes, high school, college, university, medical, but imagine one day you say, I want to become a doctor, but you never went to primary or secondary school, or you never went to college, or you never went to university. So it means you want to become a doctor, but you don't know to write and read. Impossible. It will never happen. So in professional sport, if you miss this most important part of education, and the biological clock is ticking, it never stops. So you become senior, you missed your educational period, and you are now in the situation, okay, I have to play. But nobody never educated me tactically, technically, or I'm telling you, so emotional intelligence, zero. Social intelligence, yeah, okay, because they're all coming, especially in India, from different states and different parts of India. There is a big lack of kind of social intelligence, how you have to deal with the things happening within the dressing room, around the clubs and everything. So many players I found in the whole India, speaking about ISL and I-League and lower levels, where actually you see that the boys, they are doing their best, but they are missing important part of their educational, which do not provide them to reach certain high levels later when they become seniors. That's why Indian national team, so Blue Tigers, for the time being, with the level they have now, will never reach high levels. Why? Because they miss youth educational process. They reach the level of national team and the senior level, and you go to participate in a certain tournaments or qualification rounds, however you call them, against, speaking about Asia, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Iran, Saudi Arabia. You are far behind because they understood that process long time ago. They educate their players, they prepare them for senior level, and that process happens already worldwide, I'm telling you, for around 25, 30 years already. So now, so many countries in Europe, South America, Asia, whatever it is, they are going through that process with their youth, grassroots development process with young players, which do not exist in India, because how many clubs they have academies, how many clubs they have organized youth development? Not many. So then At the end, who suffers the most? National teams, because you do not provide national team and federation the product that later they have to expose and sell or whatever it is. So the clubs, they have to understand they have to produce players, product, which is important later to show them against best national teams in Asia. If you don't do that, you will never have results with national team. For the moment, that's the case. That's reality. So it is very important. And when I arrived there, I faced that. So lack of all these things. I remember how we organized the youth teams in Kerala Blasters, how you have to deal with that, how you have to have it under control, how you have to select those kids through the generations in order to prepare them for the senior football. And I'm glad that we managed to get a couple of good young players who already reached the level of young national teams. It is very important that all the clubs understand that. And it must be the intention and influence of the Football Federation, because it happens already for 25, 30 years all around the world. So the countries who do not follow, they will never have success on the highest level. So this is the case now with the India national team. So it's not about the national team coach. It's not about the... No. It's just lack of quality, that you expose your best players, but it is not enough. So you have to sit down and say, okay, what's the problem? Let's see how the other teams or other national teams or countries, they deal with that. Because football is invented already. So you just have to go left and right and make maybe copy-paste, depending what you can apply in your country and your system, and go with it and develop your youth process. So for the time being, I don't see national team making any important results, rather than playing Southeast Asia tournaments against Sri Lanka, Maldives, or something like that. But on the highest level, there is no chance that India could qualify for the World Cup. No chance at all, because 5 countries from Asia can qualify. For the moment, there are too many countries who are much stronger in that process. Developing young players, getting them abroad, getting them even on the highest level, and then getting them for a national team. So for the moment, that's not the case in India. And not long time ago, we were laughing and saying, in Europe, for example, from month of November till, let's say, 15 days ago, so for around 3 months and even more, 3.5 months, the temperatures are around zero, below zero. So I can imagine maybe some players from Southeast India coming and surviving in 3.5 months, practicing outside on a snow and ice. It's demanding. The concurrence is strong, and you have to prepare your players. You have to deal with it. But I saw the lack of infrastructure, the lack of investing and developing these youth academies where actually you can search and find the talents, because talents are all around India. And that's why the lack of quality is there. So I hope that it will improve a lot. I was enjoying my time there, doing all that. So I hope it will be better in the future.
Yeah, I think you made a very valid point there, coach, because I remember I was once in the commentary box for one of the AFC Women's Champions League recently, where Odisha FC Women's played, and they lost all their matches by there was one match where they lost by 18 goals. And, so that's when you understand a big difference between, an evident difference between what India has to offer within Asia.
I will give you, again, example. When you got born, so in India or Belgium or doesn't matter. You have a baby like it's 1 year old. It's the same. 2 years, it's the same. When they are like 6, 7 years old, starting going to school, they're the same. But the moment they start growing up and getting those quality training programs, when they are like 10, 11, 12, 14, especially between 14 and 18, this is the most important part. There is the difference. So there is the difference. So it's about how you educate your kids, how you prepare them for a senior level, the same like you're educating them in the schools to becoming doctors or becoming engineers or becoming pilots,
Right.
Yeah. So actually, this is the important part where the clubs and the federation will have to accept that fact and say, we have to do it. For that, you need two most important things. It's knowledge and responsibility. If you don't have people who will have those two most important things, knowledge and responsibility, to apply all that, it will be difficult. So I hope that the federation will get that cooperational level with ISL in order to, improve the level of facilities, infrastructure, where all the clubs will have good training centers, because that's most important thing for the foreigners later. I remember me being a player, getting offers from abroad, and the first thing I was always asking, do you have a training center? No, goodbye. I'm not coming. So we were facing that issue with the foreign players in Kerala Blasters. Approaching foreign players and talking to them, trying to convince them to come to India, to Kerala Blasters to play. And they were asking, do you have a training center? No, but we are using, okay, goodbye. No, really, right. That's the issue. Because the players, they want to get attracted with those facilities. Nice stadium, nice training center when they spend the time, quality time, training, practicing, spending the time with the other teammates. That's very important. So I think that will be the most important part in the next years to come in the future for Indian football, to try to attract more and more quality, and in order to grow up. Because you go now around Europe, every club on fourth level, they have training centers. Right. Like 4, 5, 6 training grounds, where actually in big cities in India, you suffer to find the one training ground, which is very, again, it's about the government, it's about federation to find that cooperational level of how to improve those things, and I hope it will be all right.
Wow, so I mean, great insights from a great man. Well, Coach, I want to ask you a little more about your time with Kerala Blasters. I'm sure, I mean, all the fans thoroughly loved you. I'm sure you're still getting messages from them time and again. If you open your social media, it's flooded with messages from Manjapada and the fans.
Yeah. I always have that interaction with many people from Kerala. Yes.
Well, so tell me a certain highlight, experience, or a certain moment that is always going to be there in your mind, like something that was very special, something that stood out. It can even be the parota beef curry that you had.
Well, football wise, I will let's say I'll highlight 2 games.
Okay.
It was the first game we came back after the bubble, after COVID period. Okay. The first game we played in Kochi in front of full stadium. It was the game against East Bengal, the first game of the season, the season opener. Okay. We won 3-1. That was kind of the first contact with the Kochi stadium, full attendance. Okay. The yellow sea of, I remember it was a nice hot evening. Stadium was fully sold out, everything in yellow. The players were motivated. I was motivated. Everybody was motivated and ready. And we managed to win a really nice game. Very difficult, emotional at the end for players as well. The other game, it was the first game after my suspension. When I came back, it was the game against Odisha. Okay. So I think that those 2 games, especially that one after suspension, will be engraved till the end of my life. Because emotionally and everything, it was after a long period, I think 8 months, something like that. Right. I was banned for 10 games. Mm-hmm. With the break and everything, it took till 8 months. And right. It was kind of the really nice moment, interaction with the fans, and I'm grateful for everything what they were doing, right. And they prepared for that game. Mm-hmm. And then every day I spent in Kerala, every time I was going out of, let's say, football environment, going out to the streets, interacting with people, for me it was the moment that will stay till the end of my life. The emotion, the connection, the interaction with everybody. Nice moments, every time stopping in the street, talking to people, having fun, stopping in a fast food point, eating with the people. I remember how many times people were surprised, seeing me somewhere around Kerala, not only in Kochi, just
Right.
like driving around Kerala, stopping in some villages or small towns and getting somewhere in a small restaurant or a small bars, where, because all the times I was saying, there are people over there getting for food, let's go there. So, and then the people are looking like, okay, this is like the alien now landing here. How it's possible that coach is here? But I was enjoying my time. So actually I was traveling around Kerala a lot. So it was nice. Actually, every day will stay written with the golden letters in my heart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like I still remember going to Kerala like few months back, and I saw like there was a huge cardboard cutout of you like on the streets. Ivan Etten was written, and I was like, damn, like
What?
Coach Ivan has a lasting impact, and for sure, I think because of what you achieved, I would say you are one of us. Like you're a
I
Malayali.
am.
You're
I
a
am.
Malayali.
No, but look, 3 years. Sometimes it goes quickly, but 3 years is a nice and long period. And I think that we managed. I remember arriving at the club and in the first week or two, recognizing everything what's happening within the club and around the club. And I was saying that we want to build up the team back from a scratch, from the ashes, and to build up the team who will participate and play in the playoffs. Actually, the team who will, the club who will have that momentum where all the other teams playing game in Kochi, the first thing they say arriving in Kochi, they say, okay, it will be difficult, because I wanted everybody to feel that, okay, this is our stadium, this is our fortress, here we show our force. And I'm glad that we managed that together with fans, with all the people and the environment. So we wanted to achieve that. Then with the fans, you can never fake them, because the fans and the people around the club, they always feel the good vibrations. They always recognize your good intentions. We lost games, we won games, we draw them. And I think that the fans were always enjoying, because in every game, you give your best. I remember always telling players in the dressing room before the game, it doesn't matter against who we are playing. If you go out and you give everything, which means you fight for each other. When you see your teammate suffering, go and help him, because later when you suffer, he will help you. So these kind of moments, if you use correctly, if you give everything, later on at the end of the game, whether you win, lose, or draw, you have no regrets. And later on, when you are in your bathroom, brushing your teeth, you see yourself in the mirror, and you say, okay, I gave everything tonight. So you have no regrets. If the opponents were better and you lost the game, you shake hands and you say, okay, tonight you were better, I see you next time. So with that kind of mindset, you build up something nice. And I think that the fans and the people, they recognize that we were not faking them. We were not faking never. And actually, when you have that environment, energy, you can build up. So I think that in 3 years, we build up something nice that the people recognize, okay, this is the nice project with limited budget, because we were operating on a limited budget. So many times we could not afford to sign players, especially if we speak about domestic players, because they went elsewhere and get better contracts. You cannot compete with the teams who pay more. And so actually you were operating on a limited resources, how you have to manage certain players coming, how you have to improve them, how you have to build up the young players to give them chance and play and get the result, obtain the result with those players. So actually, that's why it stayed as a positive energy, positive emotion with the fans. And I think that every time in my life, in the future, whenever I go back in Kerala, I will go back in Kerala, of course, it will be for me like going back home. And for me, feeling of being there in Kochi and Kerala, it's like, I'm home. So it will always stay like that.
Well, Coach, you answered my last question, which is, will we see Mr. Ivan Vukomanović back in India? So, yeah, thank you for that answer. And yeah, one last thing. Could you just say a few words to all the football fans in India, just quickly?
Well, it's kind of football is a great sport which a brand that's recognized worldwide. And I think that everybody should follow that, because There is a lot of emotion around football. When people got recognized and identified with their proper club from their city or whatever, or the state, it's a nice thing. So because you can always build up and find nice people around it, many doors can be open, and hope that many people will enjoy watching football, being part of Indian football, because it can grow up to become one important competition in Southeast Asia.
All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Ivan, for taking time of your busy schedule. And it
Thank you
truly
very
means
much for having me.
and it genuinely means a lot for us to just have you allocate time for us. And we hope that, we can continue to use you as an example to the rest of the world about not just being a football, but being a role model and being positive. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for calling me. It was nice to interact. So, the parents, they always teach you, say, be good to other people, do not harm other people, help them if you can, and everything will be all right.
Well,
Take
all
care.
right.
Thank you for calling.
Yes.